Basically just grabbing these nebula boosts, the buffs. I can actually tackle this event right in an open field.
Haha!
Hey there people, good day to you all. Today I am going to be showing you the Nebula Armor, the final endgame armor set that I've been covering. I've already done the other ones. The Nebula Armor is the best mage set available in Terraria as of now. I'm also including a quick comparison versus the Specter Armor and how to make or how to craft the Nebula Armor. So currently the Nebula Armor is PC 1.3 and onward only. It will be coming to Xbox One and PS4 very soon. Probably Nintendo Switch and mobile like iOS and Android hopefully later. So you'll need 36 Luminite bars or 144 Luminite ore from the Moonlord, and you'll also need 45 Nebula Fragments from the Nebula Pillar, which is from the Celestial or Lunar events. So you'll need to defeat the Moonlord, get your 144 Luminite. You'll probably need to defeat him a couple times to get that much. And there you go, you can craft that at your Ancient Manipulator into 36 Luminite bars. You'll need your Nebula Fragments from the Nebula Pillar, Lunar Events, and put those together. You can craft your Nebula Helmet. That's 10 and 8. That gives you 60 additional mana. It reduces your mana usage by 15%. 7% increased magic damage and critical strike chance both. So that's step one. Then you'll need your Nebula Breastplate, which gives you 9% increased magic damage and critical strike chance. And then you'll need your Nebula Leggings, which there you go, gives you 10% increased magic damage and 10% increased movement speed. So you put it all together. I had my range set equipped there. And let's take off my little costume here so you can see it properly. I do have a dye job going on here as well. Let's take that off as well. So the natural color, as indicated by the icons, is more of a purple. And there you go. That's what I'm going to look like now. When you put it all together, the set is going to give you a total of an additional 60 mana. So you can see I had a base of 200. I've now got 260. It's going to give you a total of 26% additional magic damage, 16% additional critical strike chance, 15% less mana usage, and an additional 10% movement speed. So I'm even going to run faster with this. So the set bonus for the Nebula Armor. When you damage enemies, including minion damage, it gives a chance to spawn booster or buff items. These are called nebulas. So you have little flame icons that look a lot like the actual nebula fragments you use to craft the set. Again, I got some in here. So they're going to look something like this. Sort of a little flame looking icon. And there are 3 of them. There's a damage booster, which is a little pink flame icon. There's a life booster, which is an orange one, and mana booster, which is a purple one. Each of them grants you a nebula buff. So the damage nebula, the life nebula, and the mana nebula. And those last for 8 seconds each. The damage nebula gives you an additional, on top of the set bonus, an additional 15% to all types of damage. The Life Nebula gives you an additional, it gives you life regeneration outside of any other life regeneration effects. It's an additional 5 health per second life regeneration. And the Mana Nebula gives you approximately 10 mana per second regeneration, which is a lot when you think about it. So that's very powerful. Not only that, though, it gets even better. You can stack up to 3 of each. So you can have up to 3 damage nebulas, up to 3 life nebulas, up to 3 mana nebulas. They become just tiers of the same buff. And that will basically multiply the effect. So up to 3 times that. You can have up to 45% additional all damage, all types of damage, up to 15 health per second life regeneration on top of any other boosts or effects you might have, and up to 30 mana per second roughly boosts from that as well. So that's obviously very serious. And not only that, on top of all of that, The Life Nebula buff will also automatically cancel out any negative health stealing debuffs that might be in effect or that might have been applied by an enemy. It'll actually cancel those out. The mana regeneration, the Mana Nebula, works separately from any other mana regeneration effects that you might have. It has its own little mechanic, and you can even use that while using magic weapons, so it will continually regenerate even if you're using magic weapons, which is, again, pretty big. So, and again, you can stack that up to 3 tiers, so the 3rd tier will actually replenish your mana fast enough that you can continually use most magic weapons. And in multiplayer, it gets even better. In multiplayer, other players can also pick them up regardless of what armor set they're using. They don't have to have the Nebula set. When you're doing damage to enemies, they can pick up those little boosts, and it will actually apply not only to the player that picks them up, but to any within a roughly 20 to 30 block radius. It'll actually apply to, you know, the group within the area, and apply it to all of those players. So you can imagine in multiplayer this could get very, very powerful. And if you're on a party in multiplayer, it will only apply to the people on your party in that area. They have to be nearby as well. However, if you're not on a party, if you're unaffiliated, so to speak, it will just apply to everyone in that radius. So again, very, very powerful. And when you have the damage booster, the damage nebula in effect, any minions you summon while that's active will actually keep that damage boost as long as they're around. So again, there are some very, very powerful things you can do with this. And of course, as with other Luminite sets, it does emit light, so you can see, you can kind of see on the ground there as I'm walking. Well, of course, I have my little buddy here as well, but the set itself does emit light. Each piece you add in this case increases the amount of light that the set emits. So that's the same as all of the endgame post-Moonlord sets, the Luminite-based sets. However, the Stardust one just works a little differently, as I explained in that video. Now, comparison with Specter Armor. So the Spectre Armor obviously is a powerful magic set as well, but there's 2 variants of that, and I'm going to do the comparison with both of those. So if you have the Spectre Armor with the Spectre Mask, you're going to have the same plus 60 mana, so that would be the same. But the Spectre Armor will only decrease your mana usage by 13%, which is slightly worse than the 15% reduced mana usage that this set gives you. And the Spectre set with the Mask gives you a boost of an extra 5% magic damage and 5% critical strike chance, which is actually much worse than the Nebula Armor set. This set gives you an additional 26% magic damage and 16% critical strike chance, so it's way more. And plus there's that nice little movement speed boost as well. And that's before you consider the boost items, which go way above and beyond. So Nebula set is way better. Like, objectively, it's just simply better in every category compared to the Spectre Armor with the Mask. Now, the Spectre Armor with the Hood, it's not really an apples-to-apples comparison. The Hood gives you, when you do damage to your enemies, you get those little orbs that fly back to you that give you 20% of the damage you've inflicted are restored to the player. But there's also like a massive penalty if you're using the Spectre set with the Hood. If you're on PC or console, it's a 40% decreased magic damage. So you can imagine the Nebula Armor with the boosting items. If you can get a bunch of those Life Nebula items and get that up to the 3rd tier, you've got 15 health per second regeneration. 15 health per second. That's pretty powerful. And you have all those other boosts. You have the 60 extra mana. You have 26% increased magic damage, 16% increased critical strike chance, 15% reduced mana usage, and 10% increased movement speed. You have all those boosts, plus you have those other nebulas, the damage nebula to increase your damage, and the mana regeneration. like, you're just going to be able to do way more damage, is massively increased damage, and you're still going to have very impressive life regeneration if you've got those life nebulas going. So I think that's a pretty clear case, even with the hood. The nebula set is going to be way, way more powerful. I think that's pretty obvious, but that's my opinion. Now, an odd thing about the Spectre set with the hood, if you're on mobile, you actually get a 10% damage boost, whereas on the other platforms, you get a massive penalty. That's probably going to be changed by the time mobile gets the update to the 1.3 equivalent anyway, which is the only time you're going to be able to use this set, because, again, it's PC only at the moment. So I think that's probably going to change, and the Nebula Armor is going to be, again, just like way, way more powerful regardless. So yeah, Nebula Armor should come out way, way ahead, and you know what, I'm going to quickly maybe give you a little demonstration of this, because I haven't shown you those actual effects. So stay tuned, I'm just going to cut to that. Alright, so here we are. I decided just for kicks, I will go ahead and do the Pumpkin Moon, actually. And I'm just going to do this right on an open field. I've got a variety of magic weapons here. And you can see I've actually already grabbed a couple of the nebula boosts that should show up here somewhere. Nope, maybe not. Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay, so it's 8 seconds, it just worn out. But you can see these, there we go. 45% increased damage. And I can basically just sit here and annihilate everyone. This, of course, happens to be one of the more powerful magic weapons. And I went ahead and quickly put together a few magic accessories as well, which I hadn't really had up to now, because I haven't been a big magic player, but you can see here, Mana Flower and Magic Cups, of course, are big ones. And yeah, I mean, open field, I'm just destroying these guys. I guess I should show you some of the other weapons, mind you. And this happens to be one of the more powerful magic weapons. Again, this is the Nebula Arcanum, which you also get near the end of the... Actually, you do get that at the end of the game, I think. Or is that near the end of the game? Is that... I forget if that's dropped by the Moonlord or crafted from Nebula Fragments. It's one of those. You can see, look at how fast my life is regenerating. That's just crazy. This might be a good time for one of these other magic weapons, though, because the Nebula Arcanum is not the best against bosses. It doesn't travel quick enough. So something that, you know, you can aim, or something that homes and travels much more quickly. Basically just grabbing these nebula boosts, the buffs. I can actually tackle this event right in an open field. And I can just continually fire my magic weapons. So it's highly, highly effective. It's the basic point of this. Try maybe the Razor Pine. Although, yeah, there are limits. But anyway, you get the idea. So hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.